For us, it is an honor to have you around here. Our wish is that the secrets of the sages of ancient India, taught by the renowned yogi Sadhguru, be a powerful tool of self-transformation in your inner journey. Get to know our yoga course by clicking on the link that is in the description of this video and learn more.
Don't worry about your work, you give it up. What do you want? You want a roof? I'll give you. You want food every day? I'll give you. All you have to do is just sit in one place and be blissful. I will feed you for the rest of your life. Can you do? No, you want to mess up something every day. People say they're only working for a living. I said, don't worry, I'll give you shelter, I'll give you food every day, no problem. All you have to do is, I want to see tears of blissfulness every day. That's all the requirement. You don't have to do any work, you don't have to serve me, you don't have to produce anything, nothing. Just sit here blissfully, we'll feed you, we'll worship you. No. So the problem is not in your work, the problem is not in your life, the problem is not in the world that you live, the problem is just that you have not done the necessary things for this one to flow through this effortlessly, beautifully. The necessary work has not been done and we're just hoping it'll happen by accident. It doesn't happen by accident. Lot of people in the world think United States of America is heaven. But people who live here don't think so at all. Isn't it so? Isn't it? Lot of people in the world are dying to get an entry into the country. If you open up the southern borders, 10 million people will enter tomorrow morning because they think this is heaven. But you are not experiencing it that way, isn't it? You are not experiencing this as heaven because hell and heaven is not a geographical place. Hell and heaven is what you make out of yourself, isn't it? Too much talk about heaven has been going on because there are too many people who made a hell out of themselves. If you had made a heaven out of yourself, would you talk about going to heaven? If you sit here and you're feeling ecstatic right now, would you aspire to go to heaven, I'm asking? Once it happened, early 20th century, an Orthodox Greek church, a bishop from that church. You know, Orthodox Greeks have their own separate church, they have their own pope who lives in Turkey, you know this? So a bishop from this order had heard so much about Indian mysticism and he wanted to go to India, but he never got around to make it because he had to serve the cloth that he wore. And after 60 years of age, when he is semi-retired, he got the opportunity and went to India. So he came to South India, near where we are, and he wanted to meet a mystic, a yogi. So somebody said, go up this mountain, near a cave, there is a yogi sitting, you can go. So our man went, plodded up the mountain, halfway up and went. In front of a cave, an old man with a gentle smile upon his face was just sitting with his eyes closed. So the bishop went and prostrated. He cannot do it, he is not made for that. But they had told him, if you go to India, you have to crawl. He prostrated like this and with all his four limbs he got up. The yogi looked at him with amusement. Obviously, he has never prostrated anywhere before. And he smiled. Then the bishop said, I am like this, I am a bishop. I have served in the church for so long. but I have a few questions, can you answer? The yogi smiled and said, yes, please, whatever the question. Then the bishop asked, what is life? At the age of 60. What is life? So the yogi closed his eyes, became very blissful and said, life is like the fragrance of a jasmine on the spring breeze. And tears of blissfulness flowed out of his eyes as he was saying this. Then the bishop said, no, no, no. Our Pope has told us life is like a thorn and we must renounce it. And even symbolically, Jesus himself wore a crown of thorns. So, how come you say this? Our Pope says otherwise. The yogi looked at him, smiled and said, well, that's his life. So, what you make out of it is not because of where you are, what you are, it is just what you make out of it, isn't it?
Yes.
So, have you created the necessary mechanism? Have you created the necessary system? Have you created the necessary ingredients within you to make this like the fragrance of jasmine on a spring breeze and not a thorn? If it's a thorn, we must pluck the damn thing out, isn't it? Isn't it so?
Yes.
Sadhguru, I wanted to know that when we are silent, still we feel that mind chattery, which always bothers us, and our thought always shifts back to past and future imaginations, which will not be any of output. How to get rid of it?
A whole lot of thought about this thoughtlessness. Thoughtlessness, no mind, these kinds of terms have been propagated all over the place, and these terms have been badly misunderstood and made into all kinds of things, and people are striving how to stop my mind. It took millions of years of evolution to get a mind of this kind of capability, isn't it? Millions of years of tremendous amount of nature's work that today you have a mind of this kind of scope. And now you want to stop it. Why is it that you want to stop it? If your mind was constantly producing absolute pleasantness for you, would you think how to stop this mind? Would you? No. It's producing a lot of unpleasantness. That's why you're thinking of how to stop the mind. This is the first thing, wherever you go in the world, this has gone so much into people's mind. If you tell them you meditate, they say, but Sadhguru, I'm not able to stop my mind. I said that will happen only after you stop your kidneys, liver, heart. You stop all these things, then the mind will also stop. Do you want it to stop? No. Then why do you want the mind to stop? Why do you have such a horrible prejudice against the mind? You don't mind if your heart is beating, you can meditate. You don't mind if your liver is working, you can meditate. Your kidneys are functioning, you can meditate. If your brain functions, you can't meditate, what is the problem? You seem to have something against intelligence, isn't it? This is the conspiracy of the stupid against human intelligence, that to meditate means your brain must be frozen. No. You don't have to freeze your brain. We were looking at this yesterday itself. We will initiate you into Shambhavi. It's a simple process. There are many ways to do it, this is one simple way. But it's a powerful process. If you sit here, you will see Your body is here, your mind is somewhere, who you are is somewhere else. Once there is a space between you and the mind, then what the mind is not doing, what the mind is doing is not even an issue. It is like you're stuck in the traffic jam. You're struggling through the traffic. That's one experience. Suppose you're either standing on Chamundi Hill or you're floating in a hot air balloon and look down at all the traffic. Very peacefully, traffic. Why? There's a distance, isn't it? When you're in it, traffic is a different experience. From really high up there, sitting in a hot air balloon, you look down, you can't even hear the sounds. Looks wonderful, traffic, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. Because there's a distance. So once there's a distance between you and your mind's activity, mind is not a problem. Mind is a miracle, it is not a problem. And anyway, if thoughts are going continuously, if you're having a mental diarrhea, obviously you ate some bad food, isn't it? Yes. If you're having a physical diarrhea, you ate some bad food, isn't it? If you're having a mental diarrhea, you are obviously consumed something wrong. What this wrong thing could be is, the moment you identify yourself with something that you're not, then you're finished. Your mind is a continuous runs. There is no other way. Do what you want, try as hard as you want, it is not going to stop. If you do not identify yourself with anything that you are not, you know how to be with everything, you know how to use everything, but you're not identified with it, then you will see if you sit here, simply mind will be like this. If you want to use it, you can use it, otherwise it'll be like this. Right now your hands are like this, or you're holding it tied up because it'll go all over, is it? No. You can keep it like this. You can keep it like this, you can keep it like this. When you want to use it, you can use it. So it's a useful instrument. Suppose your hands become like this. Some people have become like this. Yes or no? If it becomes like this, you will become ridiculous, isn't it? If it happens to your mind, also you're equally ridiculous. It is just that you are living in the comfort that nobody else can see it. But people can see it. They watch you closely enough, they can see it, isn't it? And whether they can see it or not, that's not the point. The point is, the most important faculty of your life is out of control. Doesn't matter whether they can see it or not, that's not the issue. The issue is, the most important faculty in your life is out of control, doing its own rubbish all the time, not doing what you want it to do. So, if you have to be freed from this ailment, you should stop eating bad food. Wrong food or bad food means you're identifying yourself with things that you're not. If you sit here, if you're not identified with this and with this, then you will see everything is just fine. Then your mind will do what you want it to do. Otherwise, it will simply hang there, and that's how it should be. Mind should not be telling its own stories all the time. It should tell the story that you want it to tell, isn't it? Otherwise, it's quite a nuisance. See, the way the question is asked and also the way normally it's addressed is, people think there is something called as negative thought and positive thought. They want to remove the negative thoughts and have only positive thoughts. For such people, I would ask them to just experiment for 10-15 seconds. Let them forcefully remove one thought from their mind. For example, next 10 seconds, just don't think of a monkey. Try not to think of a monkey for next 10 seconds. You will see you will be full of monkeys. So what I'm saying is,
This is the nature of your mind, because in this mind, all the three pedals are throttle. There is no brake, there is no clutch. Whatever you touch, it will only go faster. In this kind of mind, people have been taught from moral teachers and religious teachers, do not think about bad things. Well, since then it's been a full-time job. So there is no way you can handle the mind like this. This doesn't need any great enlightenment. If you spend 2 minutes with your eyes closed, you will realize you cannot do anything forcefully with this mind. So, I want to remove negative thoughts. Do not ever go in this direction, because what you want to remove will become your quality. Always you will be on it. So what should I do? The thing is this, without understanding the fundamental mechanism of this mind, because our mind, human mind, is the most sophisticated computer on the planet. Even all the supercomputers have come out of this. When this is the case, is it not important that we understand the mechanics of how it functions? One simplistic aspect of how it functions is, there are no subtractions and divisions in our mind. There is only addition and multiplication. If you try to do something with it, it will say one more. If you try hard, it will multiply into many more. In this mind, you don't try to identify what is positive, what is negative and try to remove it. First of all, one needs to understand, this mind of yours, this body of yours is supposed to serve you. The life that you are is important. Body and mind are vehicles that must serve us. If you sit in a vehicle, it must go where you want to go. If it goes to its own destination, what is the point of such a vehicle? It's just a nuisance. Right now, most human beings are unfortunately experiencing this fantastic possibility of human mind as a nuisance, as a troublesome thing. Well, this is the most beautiful thing you have. It's just that you need to pay little attention as to how it functions. One simple thing is this. First and foremost process is, that's why we put out this process called Isha Kriya. This is to distance yourself from your physiological and psychological process. There is something called as you which exists. This is not a composite of all your thoughts and emotions and physiological processes. Beyond that, there is you. If you close your eyes, even if you cannot see anything, you're still there. It is through the window of your eyes that you're looking out, but if you close your eyes, it doesn't mean that you don't exist, you still exist. So beyond your thought, you still exist, beyond your emotion, you still exist. So that you, the life that you are, this has to come into your experience. Why is it that you're not allowing that to come into your experience, which is the most significant aspect of who you are? Who you are right now, the most significant aspect is, you and me are alive right now, this is it. What I'm thinking, what you're thinking is not the important thing. We are alive right now, that is the important thing. So, it is important that you focus on this fundamental sense of aliveness within you, and then you will see there is a natural distance between you and your thought process. Once there is a distance between your psychological process and your physiological process, this is the end of suffering. Because there are only two kinds of suffering that human beings go through. Physical
Right now,
suffering
it's
and
me
mental
versus the
suffering.
universe.
Once you
This
create
is
a little
just your
space between
psychological
you and
condition.
your mind,
This is
between
not
you
the
and your
reality.
body,
Even
this
when
is
you
the
feel
end of
utterly
suffering.
lonely, are you
This
still
is something
breathing?
every human being has
So you're
to
transacting with the
experience
world,
and know.
isn't it?
Otherwise,
Yes?
thinking
You
I will
only
just
can't get
remove
along with the
negative
people
thoughts
around
and
you.
I will have
But
positive
atmosphere
thoughts.
is okay with you.
All the best, it's
Food
not
is
going to work
okay.
100%,
Tastes
it's
good.
not going to work.
Water
because
is okay.
Nobody can remove
You have
it, they can
transaction
avoid it for
with the
some
world,
time.
isn't it?
So when negative thoughts
Your
come, you say
existence
Ram Ram, Shiva
is
Shiva, whatever
constantly
you
an
want.
engagement with the
But
universe.
this is just
But your
avoiding,
mind
it's not gone.
becomes
The moment you
against the
stop that, it will
universe.
pop back with great force.
If you create a
Otherwise, it will
psychological
come back in your
condition
dreams.
that you're
So it's
against
very
or
important. First of
you're
all,
in
you need to
competition
understand
with the universe
your
or the
anger,
cosmos,
your resentment, your
obviously
fear,
you will feel
your
crushed
anxieties,
for small things.
the negativity
Little
that you
things
generate.
will crush you.
Generally, resentment, anger,
When I say little things,
it
maybe
is always directed towards
you
somebody.
failed your examination,
But we need to understand
maybe
this is
you got
poisons
thrown out
that
of
we
this
are
university,
drinking and expecting
maybe
somebody
you got
else to
fired
die.
from a job,
Fortunately, life doesn't work
maybe
like that.
somebody
If I drink
ditched
poison,
you.
I die. If I drink
Maybe.
poison, you don't die.
Something else like this happened.
So, we need to
These are
understand
all
this. When I
small
say
things
poison,
between
today
life
you
and
can
death.
have yourself chemically
Because
analyzed.
you came here
Right
with
now, what
nothing,
is your blood
isn't it?
work, what it says? 5
When you
minutes of
die,
intense
there is
anger.
no container
Check your
service
blood
for
work
you.
and see, there will be
You die
lots of
with
negative
nothing.
elements in it.
In spite of
Literally,
that,
you're poisoning yourself.
most people have
So,
turned
do
their
you want
homes
to
into
poison yourself?
warehouses.
Definitely not. Now,
Most
the very
people are
question
carrying
is
such a
coming from
huge
certain
baggage on
helplessness.
their head,
What shall I do?
as if they're carrying the whole
Don't do
universe on
anything.
their head.
Just sit back.
This is
and
their own psychological
just
condition.
concern yourself with something which
Your
is a life
thought
process.
and emotion
Maybe
is
your
what you're
heartbeat,
talking about,
maybe your
right?
breath, maybe just the sensation of being alive.
When are you going to
Depending
figure
upon
out how to handle
sensitive
your
or
thought
how
and
perceptive
emotion?
you are,
Not hers,
accordingly,
not hers,
find
not his.
something.
Yours.
It could be a sensation in the
When
body,
are you going
it
to
could be
learn
breath,
how
it
to
could be
handle my
heartbeat, it
thought
could be
and my
anything,
emotion
something
at the end
which
of your life?
indicates life to you.
The only
Just
problem
pay
really
attention
with
to
life
that
is
for
just
some time.
this.
Slowly you will
Most
see
human
there is a
beings have
distinction
taken themselves
between
too
what is
seriously.
you and what you
They
have
don't
gathered,
understand.
which includes both your
You've seen on the computer
physiological and
screen these
psychological
pop-ups?
possibility
You
or
are a
mess,
pop-up
whatever
on
you're
this
made out.
planet. You pop up for 2 seconds and pop out. No, you must see, countless number of people like you and me have walked this planet. They were also big people. Where are they? All topsoil? Topsoil or no? Or maybe you're planning to go to heaven. Hello?
My question is, what means focus to you, and which way can we apply focus in our daily life? So what's your definition of focus?
Okay. There are many ways to describe this word. Instead of saying focus, if you use the word attention, would you agree that attention and focus are about the same thing? There is a little difference. There are nuances to it, but when you say focus, it's just like focusing a light on something means only a focus is always a spot. Attention can be much more widespread. See, right now, if you have clear vision, I'm having problems seeing the young man because you kept him in darkness there in the hall. But if the hall was well lit, I don't have to focus myself to see the people who are sitting here. I just need attention. If I'm attentive, I will see all the people here the way they are. But now I get interested in this one young man, then I need focus. If I had only focus without the general attention about everything around me, indiscriminate attention I'm talking about, attention not even about something, just being attentive because only because there is a certain level of attention and awareness within you, you even know that you exist. Otherwise, let's say in sleep, in your experience, neither the world exists nor you exist, all that's happened is there is no attention. Because there is no attention, there is no perception of any kind.
This is our time on the planet. What we make out of this damn world is ours, whatever we make out of it. We should make something that if we look back and see, at least in our minds and our hearts, it must look good, isn't it, what we have done? Word to describe what is happening within me, but I knew I've hit something that I don't want to lose. This is the very first time you can sit here and talk to the entire world. Do not underestimate this. If at all ever in the history of humanity we can transform human beings, this is the moment.